codes and consciousness are the basis of everything in life. We grow, we become established within the physical, emotional, mental, relational, cultural, familial environments that we're in. And we use the makings, the materials that are available to us to amalgamate ourselves until we become a hodgepodge of self. And now we are not just a self, we are an architecture. We are a complex of structures of self, most of which is hindering you from establishing greater and greater degrees of homeostasis. What ends up happening is that we adapt. And what a beautiful thing it is to be able to do, to adapt to our environment. We adapt to the people that we are surrounded with. We adapt to the air. We adapt to what's in our bodies. We adapt to our own thinking. Why do we adapt? So that we are in as least amount of conflict as possible, least amount of friction as possible. Because if our system reacts to the food, reacts to the pollen, reacts to the noise, reacts to the people, reacts to the smell, reacts to the programming, reacts to the collective environment, if it reacts, it's very costly. We expend a great amount of resource in reacting to something that your system perceives as foreign. So instead, the system works very, very hard to adapt. However, if your system is making all this effort and using all these resources to adapt to something that's not actually good for you, you are now what I call maladapting. Means adapting to lower stages of homeostasis, to a point where your system has now accustomed itself to varying degrees of suboptimal health, physical, emotional, mental, environmental, relational health, and then calling it normal. Now, when the system adapts, when it has established its sense of self, in order to maintain a continuity of the sequences of self, body, and programming, and calls it normal, and has established biological, emotional, mental, habitual pathways in order to maintain the continuity of these pathways, and then you go to change any of them, it will literally feel like you are going against yourself. And so what we need are new stages of homeostasis to calibrate towards. What does it mean to calibrate towards? Calibration is when we have a standard that we consider optimal and that you adjust what you're doing, what your system's doing, responding, believing, behaving, how it digests, how it perceives, towards something that is a healthier, optimal way. That's calibrating. We calibrate towards something that is the optimal. So what we need are calibration points that we can allow our system the freedom to unwind from the detrimental structures of the grids of humanity and towards higher degrees of homeostasis. Okay? But we need models and blueprints and higher fields of intelligence to guide our genetics, our biology, our mind, our heart, our perceptions, and our habits towards. Without these calibration guides, these calibration points, there's nothing to calibrate towards, and we maintain the status quo of the homeostasis that our system has established it towards, or it's expending a great deal of energy resisting getting worse. So where do these higher calibrations come from? They come from higher intelligence.